Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Divine from Keeping Up with Divine. Thank you for coming back if you are a return subscriber. Thank you for coming if you're new, and welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for content every Wednesday and every Sunday, 6 p.m. UK time. So today I'm back with more business content for you guys. If anyone knows me and knows my channel, you'll know I love a good business and I love a good business chat. Hey guys, this video is actually a continuation. So if you haven't watched part 1, you should check that out first and then come straight back here for part 2. I'll link it right here.
When I make a meal, 95 when an option. In the field, they kinda run out of options. She always complain like she knows me often, but often I'll be
Right, so if someone wanted to start off as a trader, what would you recommend?
So education is key. And this isn't just about trading, this is about anything at all. If you're trying to do something that you've never done before, it's very difficult to know how to do it, especially the right way. And if you want, specifically in trading, if you want to know, or if you want to understand the implications of trying it on your own without education, look at the percent failure. Or sorry, look at the failure percentage in trading overall. At the moment, it's 90%. So that's 9-0, which means 9 out of 10 people that are trying to trade are not successful. And if you really take a deeper look into that, is because everybody's trying to do it on their own. Right? It's a brand new thing. It hasn't been around for, let's say, more than 60 years. I think, well, trading in general has been up Forex because there's different types of trading. So you could be trading commodities, you could be trading shares, or so when your company at some point gets to a point of where you want to sell shares, people can trade that up and down. So education is a must. Like I said before, it's very difficult you trying to do something for the first time, or even you trying to do something the right way for the first time, to know exactly what to do. So find some sort of education platform, or platform that offers you education, and take it. I think one of the difficulties that you're going to have is that a lot of companies that have education out there are asking you to pay before you even get to see what that education is. And even if you do get to see it, it's usually little snippets. So you never actually get to a point where you have enough information to gauge whether what they're giving you is valuable or not before you part way with your money. And I think that's where, again, another thing that really differentiates my company, ATRIO FX, in a sense of we have a free service. And in that free service, we provide you free education. For you to, and that does 3 things, because obviously I've been there. So in a sense of, it provides you enough information for you to know whether you like trading or not. So it's trading for you or not. After that, it then tells you exactly, or gives you an idea of what you need to do to take your trading further. And then last but not least, it provides you the belief that it can be done. Because you're being taught something, you're then trying it and you're seeing it work. So you're able to see your progress. And there's nothing better than you wanting something and then noticing that you're actually moving towards that goal. So before you part way with a single cent of your money, you're able to get all those things. And the last bit, which is belief, that's probably the most important bit, because again, the difference between people that actually go on and do something to the people that actually drop along the way is the belief, right? We're providing all of that for free.
So I know people who may be interested into getting into trading, but they're afraid of the stigma of being seen as scammers.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Because some people, they do genuinely have an interest, but the amount of people who've been scammed, I feel sometimes puts people off even entering the industry, because they just feel like they'll be painted with that bad brush.
Again, well, it depends how you want to. So do you want to learn, or do you want to help others learn? If you want to learn, I think we've covered that. So join some sort of education. Have a look at ATRIO FX. So www.atriofx.com. Register, open the members area. At that point, you have access to all the courses. But for you, as a free user, as a first timer, or somebody who's wanting to gauge whether they like trading or not, go through the fundamentals course, right? And then look at the forum that's also offered on that platform. And then that's enough information for you to gauge, and there's quite a lot of content on there, content that you'll otherwise pay with other companies. So give that a go. If you are an individual who wants to help, first of all, if you have the knowledge, right? So if you actually have the right knowledge, you would never look at yourself as a scammer. And yes, there are scammers out there, but if you are not them, then it's very difficult for you to consider that what they're facing will also implicate you, or what they've done will also implicate you, because you're not the same people, right? So if you are feeling like, I might come across as a scammer, then you don't know enough, clearly. Because when you have that confidence, when you have the proof, then that whole thought system, I'm this, won't be that, because that's not who you are, in a way, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. So
for example, I've never considered coming across as a scammer, just because I know that I have the right results and I have proof to go with it. And it's not just me. I have students that can actually act as proof. So again, you're not just taking from what I'm saying, but you're actually seeing it around you.
So obviously we know that you are a trader, and you did that, I believe, since 2015, did you say?
Yeah, that was when I started. But
okay.
I haven't been making money throughout that whole time. So one of the reasons why I'm such an advocate for going for education is because I've been at the other side of not doing it through education. So I wasted like 2.5 years of where I was trying to do it all on my own.
Right.
Yeah, I learned a lot, but I was lacking so many things. For example, I was never able to gauge my progress because there was nothing to gauge it with. I didn't have somebody who could tell me that I'm doing the right thing or not. There's so much stuff that I didn't know, stuff that I wasn't able to verify, right? And I was unable to, again, gain any belief that I'm doing things the right way, or that I'm actually getting any closer to my goal. But all of that changed dramatically when I found some sort of education. Trading is really simple in a sense of you're all doing the same thing. So if you're part of a community, you will all do the same thing. So if they're getting results, why aren't you getting results if that's the case? Right? And then you can find out what you need to do to bridge the gap. But if you're on your own, you've got nothing to compare with.
What's a piece of advice you would give to somebody who's looking to start trading? Obviously, the education is very important, but in terms of wanting to start, like they know that they're going to ATRIO FX and they're about to start the course, is there anything you'd want to tell someone who's...
Yeah, lower your expectations.
Right.
Because at the moment, because trading is now the thing, right? There are very high expectations. And as a result of that, you're going into trading with the wrong mindset. You're going to expect to make a lot of money in a short period of time. That is not the case.
It's more of a long game.
Yeah. Like everything else, anything that's going to put a lot of money in your pocket, or anything that's going to continuously put money into your pocket, usually is a long game, and legally, right? Usually is a long game.
Legally.
Right? I just had to mention that.
To add context.
It usually is a long game. So, go in there with the mindset that trading is like any other profession, because it truly is a profession. It's unique in a sense. I think because it's so easy. Because it looks so easy, people can have a perception and have an expectation that it is easy, that you can make a lot of money in a short period of time. Anybody you're seeing that's making a lot of money, or a huge amount of money it's usually somebody who's been educated or has been in the game for quite some time. There's a lot for you to learn. Take it seriously. It is a profession, and when you do that, you will then open yourself up. You will open your mind up to actually see challenges rather than issues. To actually face all your hurdles as a positive, as an opportunity to learn, other than a trigger for you to be annoyed, right? Because when you have such a positive mind, it's not positive. When you have such a high expectancy of something and it doesn't happen, because it doesn't meet your expectation, you experience negative emotions, right? Whether it be frustration, whether it be anger, whether it be or sadness, but that is only able to happen because of your expectations.
Right.
And in the time that I've taught traders how to trade, the ones that have had the smallest expectation, the realistic expectations, they're the ones that have gone the high, because they have less challenges to deal with. So in a situation, it could be, let's say you've got low expectations, I've got really high expectations. We may face the same problem, but because we're then comparing that problem to different sets of expectation. You with low expectation, that might not be a problem to you at all. You're just thinking, that's fine, right? I expected that, it's okay. Whereas me, because I've got such high expectations, when I compare what I'm coming across with my expectation, I'm like, whoa, I didn't expect that. Whoa. And then, so you then find that although you are coming across the same situation or the same scenario, but the experience, because our expectation is different, the experience is also different. So with high expectations, you're making it a lot more difficult for you. And again, that's where a lot of people are going wrong, right? They see something on Instagram, they see something on social media, they then create that high expectation. But when they start to trade, that's not the reality. And it's like twice as hard for them, if not a lot more, compared to somebody else who wants to take it seriously. And he's done a lot of research before creating some sort of an expectation.
And what would you say the biggest lesson you've learned through business has been?
The process is the same. So
what do you mean?
The process or the template of any business is exactly the same. For example, you must provide value to your clients, to your end users, to your audience, and that's across any business. You must be aware of your finances, right? Marketing is important. Leadership is absolute key, right? The ability to take risk and invest into your future is absolute key, and those things are the same across any business. And this is why, again, I really like, and I'm really emphasizing on people on actually just reading up on individuals on multiple individuals that have done really well in business, because the more you read up on those individuals, you find out what they're doing is exactly the same. They're all using the exact same template, right? And maybe an even better example is where it says leaders are readers. They're all reading. So again, they might be different. They might be reading different stuff, but they're doing the same thing, which is reading, right? So in the large scale of things, which is what's actually important, don't focus on the really tiny details. Focus on the large scale of things. You find out that every single business, or the template that every single business uses, is exactly the same.
And how do you manage? I know obviously you're still working full time. How do you manage that and a business?
I think again, we're gonna go back to the word being fortunate. I've been exceptionally fortunate. Now, whether that's something that I have something to do with, or luck, that's a different conversation altogether. But my job has a lot of freedom, and it affects my trading in no way whatsoever. Right? For example, I work from home quite a lot. So if I'm not traveling and if I'm not seeing customers, clients, I work from home. But at the same time, I also work like 18, 19 hours a day. So I think because I like it so much, I'm able to dedicate so much time, right? So and as a result of that, I've had to cut out a lot of activities. So PlayStation 4 out the window. Of course, when the guys come around and we're doing whatever, football out the window, right? I'll get the results
out the window.
I'll get the results, but yeah, and I'll watch highlights as I'm watching, as I'm having breakfast or whatever it may be. But I won't dedicate 90 minutes, or it's more than that. It's usually 2 hours with the pundits and analysis and so on. I won't dedicate that. It's just not worth it. So when you start cutting out things like that, you realize you've got so much time. So I'm really good at time management, but it's almost a no-brainer, because again, because you're so obsessed with something, it's the only thing that matters. So because I'm so obsessed with what I'm doing, I'm actually finding it so much fun. And as a result of that, it's very easy for me to push away things like football, things like PlayStation, things like just generally seeing friends on a regular basis. I'll call you, I'll text you. And every now and then, like we've done, we'll get together. But we don't need to see each other all the time. Series. Like, I watch series, yes, but I'm not a big series watcher. And I think, so, and I've noticed this because, for example, and I stay away from series that have a big hype. Right, because obviously you're then more likely
sucked in.
You're more likely to be sucked in. So for example, I haven't watched Money Heist.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah, right.
It's amazing.
Exactly, right. And I'm staying away from that. But every night, and I also try and watch things that are business related.
Oh,
So for example, any movies about trading, I've watched it probably 5-6 times. Any movies about business as a whole, for example, recently I watched The Founder, how McDonald's was founded. Incredible movie, right? And the amount of insights that I get from watching such stuff is absolutely amazing, because yes, it's entertainment because I'm having some downtime, but at the same time, I'm loading my mind with information that I can later use for my own benefit.
So it's like killing two birds with one stone, really,
Correct.
isn't it?
Yeah. So time management is important, and again, if you're finding it difficult to do anything regarding your business or anything that you like, what that all comes down to is that it's not important enough. It's not important enough for you in your life right now for you to drop everything else. Because once something is important, nothing else matters. So for example, let's say you need to be at an airport, right? Because your flight's leaving at 8 o'clock. Nothing else matters before that time. There might be this, there might be that, but you most likely you will leave your home early. There won't be an excuse of, oh, I had to speak to this person on the phone, or I had to watch this, or I had to do that. None of those things matter. Why? Because your first priority is to be there, and you know that if you're not there by a particular time, it's gone, right? So you have something to lose. So when I look up, sometimes when I lack motivation, I ask myself, what do I have to lose? Which is quite a bit, which is what I want. So if I don't put in the time, if I don't put in the effort, I'm very aware that I could lose what I want. And of course, I don't want to lose what I want. But over time, it gets extremely, extremely easy.
Okay, fair enough.
But also one last thing, I don't run the business on my own. So I'm not required by the business 24 hours a day.
Right.
And right now we've simplified so many things. For example, we've created an on-demand course. So I've sat down in front of a camera like this. Obviously I didn't have the whole divide.
You can do that if you want, you know? Have that.
Yeah, and so basically done this, and I have spent maybe 40-50 hours just recording content. So it's pre-recorded, put onto our website. What that does is it provides me a lot of time to do other things, but at the same time, it provides a lot of benefit to anybody who wants to trade, because they can now learn whenever they have time, rather than what it was before, whether I had to be present or whether they had to be present. And that didn't work so well. And as we were expanding as a community and as a business, that was more evident, right? So by automating such things as that, by also having other people on board that can also do the things that you may not be so interested in doing, that helps a lot. So actually, I probably spend now 4 or 5 hours max. But because again, and that's between multiple businesses. So going doing this, doing that, doing this in this business, that in that business, that in that business. So a day, 4 or 5 hours. But my own personal trading, I can spend the whole day.
And finally, is there anything you would like to say to somebody who is watching this and they're looking to make the transition into hopefully becoming an entrepreneur?
There's so much that I can say, so I'm trying to filter out what's really important. Know that you can do it, right? On whatever it is, you're probably not the first to have done it. Right? You're probably not the first to have done it. You're not the first to have done it in the way that you were thinking of doing it, in a sense of starting completely from scratch. That's number one. And number two, you actually don't have to start from scratch. You can meet up through networking, or just through talking to people about what you want to do. You can actually find people that have the same passion, or people that have already started something. So for example, I didn't have to start from scratch with this particular business. And would I have had to? Would that have been a problem? Absolutely not. But I didn't have to. So that was again another advantage that I had, that anybody can have if you talk to the right people, if you talk the right way, and if you just share what you want to do. You'll be amazed by how many people have ideas that can assist you in one way or the other, or like actually know somebody who might be doing something similar, and by you talking to them, you might be able to join what they're doing. Right? No one runs a business on their own. There's a saying that there's only so much you can do on your own, just because there's so much to be done, and multiple heads or multiple brains are better than one. But yeah, you can absolutely do it all. A lot of the information that you need is in books, but you need to want it. You need to want it so much that you're willing to lose sleep over it, right? And the moment it gets to that point, then there's nothing you can't do, right? So it's all been done before. 90% of the information that you need is available to you, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on anywhere online, or just books, right? And follow business leaders as a whole, but at the same time, follow people that are close to what you've done. So one of the things that I tell all my traders is for them to consistently listen to other traders, right? Especially successful traders, because as you're doing that, your obsession actually grows, right? And of course, obsession is what you want. So yeah, you can do it, and there's a lot more people out there that are willing to help you than you think. Use LinkedIn. Just connect to somebody and says, hey, I'd like to. I would like to connect to like-minded individuals, and I hope you don't mind. But have a positive perception or have a positive expectancy. You having a negative expectancy kind of sets you up for a failure. So ATRIO FX itself, right? The business partners were actually found through LinkedIn.
Oh, nice.
So I connected with people that had a similar interest, found out that they already had a platform of what I wanted to do, and I expressed what my vision is, what I wanted to do, and I could see how that would add value to what they already had. So, and as a result of that, ATRIO FX was born. So it wasn't ATRIO FX before them, but once I joined and we put our heads together, it turned into ATRIO FX. And it has been a massive, massive success. So yeah, happy.
That's brilliant. That's fantastic. So just to recap, guys, if you want to learn how to trade, you need to check out his website, ATRIO FX. I'll have that down in the description. I'll also put your LinkedIn in the description. He said network, so you better hit him up if that's what you're trying to do. And he can't say no, because he's the one who said he wants to network here. And yeah, thank you so much for coming onto my channel. I absolutely loved this, and I look forward to having you back at some point to answer more questions. And guys, thank you for watching. I hope you loved it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, especially share, because you never know who may need to hear this. And yeah, I will see you on my next video. Bye.
Bye guys.